Guys, Joe McDonough here with MyMMAnews.com, and I'm joined by TUF 29 champion winner Bryan Battle. And Bryan, does that feel normal to hear yet?
Pardon?
Does it feel normal to hear that TUF 29 winner?
Yeah, I mean, dude, everyone, every chance someone gets to say it, they say it. And yeah, man, it's cool. It's cool. Now it's getting to the point where it's like I can't let it get to my head. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's awesome. I'm loving it. I'm enjoying the experience, but it's time to get back to work so I can get some other accolades to go next to that TUF 29 champion. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I mean, one of the biggest battles, and we hear this with Contender Series, we hear this with Ultimate Fighter, is that getting there is awesome, but staying there is a tough part too, and that seems to be the next thing in line, right?
Absolutely. And I don't want to just stay there. I want to make an impact. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm not just here just to say that I'm a UFC fighter. I want to make my my imprint on the division and the whole organization as a whole. So it's great to be here. I'm happy to be here, but now it's time to make moves now that I'm here.
And how good does it feel to be home? I mean, I'm sure Vegas was nice. The house seemed nice, but I'm sure you were ready to get the hell out of there.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was an awesome experience. You know what I'm saying? It was one of a kind. I'm so happy that I did it. But no, I mean, I'm back home with my wife. You know what I'm saying? I missed my wife out there. I'm back home with my family, all my nephews and everything like that, my team, my coaches. So, it's cool because, it's like we got our formula. We're constantly tweaking and adding to it all the time. So it's good to be back home, back building on what we've been working on this whole time.
Tell me, I mean, I'm sure I could tell you, I could guess what you're going to say in the sense of answering this question, but what was the toughest part of being in the house?
The toughest part about being in the house was cutting the weight. That was for me because I was one of the bigger guys on the show. I had to cut more weight than most guys who are competing, especially at 85. I shouldn't say that about the 30. There were some 35ers that do some really gnarly cuts, but out of all the 85ers, I was probably the person who had to do the biggest weight cut, and I had to do it twice in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, something along those lines. It was ridiculous. And I've never had to do that before. Obviously, I never ever want to do that again. Especially because we had a request list in the house, so you could literally get whatever you want. I'm saying if you asked for bacon, ice cream, but they would have brought it to you. So I'm looking at some of these guys eating ice cream. I'm just like. At first I get mad, but then I'm like, yo, just eat a little bit slower. Tell me how it tastes. You know what I mean? Like I'm like savor that ice cream. You know what I mean?
Eat it.
I'm living vicariously through you right now. But the weight cutting was the hardest part.
My guess was going to be, I mean, obviously, just being away from home. You already talked about how tough that can be, but also just like not having your team and coaches there. I mean, obviously, it's great having the coaches that you have. I mean, champions, top contenders, Ortega and Volkanovski, but not having kind of your set like norms and your set coaching staff and your set training partners, it must be a little weird.
No, it was. What's strange about it is like you literally just got this group of people, so it's like there's 8 fighters per team, four in each weight class, and you're getting with a whole new coaches. So you got a group of teammates that you've never met before. You got a group of coaches who are extremely qualified. They're qualified, but they're still like a group of guys that you've never met before. And normally it takes like about a month or a couple months to build that repertoire, not the repertoire, but the rapport between the coach and the fighter, you know what I'm saying? And so, we had 5 weeks and 5 weeks and, a ton of fights. And so it was just like, it was a cram sesh. And if I honestly think, if I was on Team Ortega instead of Team Volkanovski, it would have been a completely different experience for me. I think my experience on the show would have been totally different. Just like, I mean, Team Volk, we gelled so well, we clicked so well. I mean, even after those first 4 losses, people were still trying to work hard. People were still showing up every day. People weren't skipping training sessions. You know what I'm saying? And like win or lose, dudes were still going in and putting in the work and trying to get better. So, and Volk and his coaching staff, they were there, win or lose, they were there to help you get better. So, and not to mention that Volk shared his team shared a lot of the same general philosophies that my team back home abides by. So it was an easy transition. You know what I'm saying? At first, it was definitely like a little weird, a little awkward. You're like, oh, that's the world champ right there.
So tell me about you. Obviously, were supposed to have a different opponent.
Yeah.
On final night. I know. I've seen a couple of interviews from post fights and things. I mean, you still want that, and that's something that you want, not just from the house, but from previous. You guys were supposed to meet and didn't. I mean, so I'm assuming that's ideally in a perfect world. What's next for you?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I want to fight in December. December it would be a perfect time for me to fight, and with that being said, I mean, TUF is over. I'm the TUF champion. I'm not thinking about the competition anymore. That's gone. That's history. You know what I'm saying? It's just at this point, there's not a whole lot of guys that I know personally on the UFC roster in the middleweight division, and there's not a whole lot of people on the UFC roster saying that they can beat me. And Trayshawn's on the UFC roster, and he said publicly that he thinks he can beat me. So, I guess that means we have, because he's saying he can beat me. I'm saying I can beat him. And with that being said, I would like to fight Trey, but I'm not waiting on him. You know what I'm saying? I want to fight in December. Whoever I fight in December is whoever I fight. But if I could fight Trey, that'd be great. But that's on him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm here. I'm the TUF champ. You know what I mean? If he wants to back up all this stuff that he's been saying, I'm here for him. You know what I mean? But he's got to come find me a little bit. If he wants to meet me in December, that's cool. If not, we'll see what happens from there.
Absolutely, and it's something that we'd all love to see. Bryan, last one for me is just, I feel like when you get out of the house, and maybe December is kind of a little layoff, but not really to me at least. I feel like a lot of time we see people kind of almost take like a full year off because it's just been so much. In 5 weeks, you fought X amount of times. You've been training every day. It's just like a lot. But here you are wanting to get essentially right back in there in the next 3 months. Is it part of you that you just want to kind of rack up the UFC wins in the next year?
Here's something that Dana said one time that always stuck with me. In this business, you eat what you kill. You know what I'm saying? And I've been starving for a long time, man. You know what I'm saying? I have been starving for a long time. I've been killing like little fish, and I'm hungry, man. I'm hungry, man. I want to kill a big fish. I'm trying to eat out here. And it's that I love fighting. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be in the gym regardless. I'm gonna be training regardless. Half of my fights have been short notice. Maybe more than half of my fights have been short notice fights, and it's just because how I train and how I prepare just all the time. I'm always ready and always in fight camp shape. So yeah, man, I just love it, man. I love it. I'm healthy. As long as I'm healthy, I'm going to fight frequently. Obviously, once I start getting to the upper echelon guys, it's take more game planning and stuff like that. But I'm a young guy. I'm at the bottom of the totem pole, and now it's just time to grind and make a name for myself. And so I'm ready to grind, man. I'm ready to make a name for myself in the UFC.
Absolutely, and it's gonna be a pleasure for us fans to watch as you make that grind and ascend up. I have no doubt. Bryan, congratulations on winning the Ultimate Fighter. Congratulations on the first UFC victory, and I look forward to seeing it in December or whenever it happens next. Thank you, Bryan.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you for the interview. Thank you for working it all out. This